Hi dears, welcome back to the channel, Anna's Life in Spain. It's Anna with you here, of course, and welcome back to the latest update on the situation here in Spain and our sunny Benidorm region. Yes, today it's finally sunny here. No rain, there are only some clouds right there, right behind my back. So, for today, the situation that we have is this one. For the last 24 hours, we have 9,663 new cases. It's not a lot. The cases are not growing as it was expected, in a good sense, don't get me wrong. We thought that the fourth wave is going to be a lot bigger than the previous one, but no, it's quite smooth, gentle. It's growing gradually like this. So it's instead of being as steep as the third one was. The index of people getting sick versus 100,000 of people living here is of 204. It's also not a lot. It's growing like by 2 to 3 points each day. So it's quite stable. Our Ministry of Health has launched today a new campaign which is called I'm vaccinating myself safely. So like I'm for the safe vaccination, if you want to call it like this. The main sense of this campaign is basically to show people that there's nothing to be worried about, that the vaccines are safe, and the number of adverse effects that they can cause to your health is a lot lower than the possible benefits are from getting the vaccine. Basically, this is what they're doing. They're going to be launching this campaign from today onwards. We don't know until which date. And they're going to be putting it on the television, on social media, online, somewhere on websites, on radio, like in a lot of different places, so that all people of all ages would see this new campaign. I'm not sure if this is worth it. If not, people are just seeing what they see online. They're checking the news as well. They know what's happening with AstraZeneca, what's happening with the Janssen vaccine as well. And they are just simply afraid of getting the vaccination because this hasn't been studied that much. You know, all the adverse effects, they've not been studied a lot because there was simply no time. It was going against the clock, all the situation, and companies just had to create some kind of a vaccine that will be valid for us in order to stop this situation. So we get why this is happening, but it's just, on one hand, people want this to be over with once and for all. They want just to get the vaccine and be done with all this. They want to be immunized and they want to just live their life freely and without any kind of fear that they might get the virus and the consequences might be quite serious. Some people don't have any effects, some people have them, you know, we are all different, so it's normal. So others are still afraid. They want to see first how people will get vaccinated like others, and then if it's safe, we're gonna get vaccinated. This is the thought that many people have here in Spain and especially in our region. Basically, this is what's happening with the vaccination process right now. What about the restrictions? Restrictions remain the same approximately in all regions at the moment. What is changing is that in Andalusia, wow, the waves are so strong that I'm getting like water particles on me when they get until the beach area. Wow. There's a strange storm today. There's no such a big wind, no nothing, but the sea is quite angry today. Don't know why it is, but it's very strange to see our Mediterranean Sea in this kind of stage. So getting back to the restrictions. In Andalusia, in the south part of Spain, they've decided to reduce the amount of people that are able to gather at once in bars and restaurants. So for example, it's just an example for you to understand. So if before they were able to put a, let's say, 100% of capacity on the terraces. Right now it's going to be just 70. If inside they were able to have 50% of occupancy, today it's going to be 30%. So this is how it's going to be working. They are checking the numbers in each city, and depending on the numbers of cases that they have, there are going to be stricter or lighter restrictions in this case. But bars and restaurants there are open. Madrid is still one of the 4 regions here in Spain that are open for visits. So Madrid, Extremadura, Canary Islands and Balearic Islands are the only ones that are open and are able to travel in between these regions freely. But it's only 1.5 weeks left and the official state of alarm will be over once and for all. And hopefully from then we will be able to travel freely between all the regions, even if it's just to see our relatives, our loved ones, not just for tourism, but at least we will be able to go out of our region with all the necessary precautions, but we are able to if we want to. This is the most important thing. So the last change, which still hasn't produced, but it's quite possible that this will happen, is in Catalonia. Catalonia has decided that they have quite a lot of cases and the cases are growing, which means that they are thinking of closing the bars and restaurants. Probably today in the evening or tomorrow in the morning, they are gonna make the decision if it's gonna be the case or not, or they'll still leave the bars and restaurants open as they were before. As soon as this will happen, I'm definitely gonna let you know if we'll have any more different restrictions from the ones that we have right now. The general restrictions applied for whole Spain are valid until 25th of April. So approximately 10 more days, 9-10 days. After which our president probably will relax a lot of these measures, and in 1 more week this state of alarm is officially over. We are so happy and we are so wishing to get over April and start May already, because we all are trying to be positive and thinking that the situation will get better. Maybe some people will say that we're stupid, we're naive, how you want to call it, doesn't matter, but we remain positive, because if not, then we'll get very stressed. And this is not necessary in today's situation, trust me. Next news is that our government is basically trying to increase the taxes that we are paying. Apart from that, right now it's our rental campaign. So you know that every year in your country you have to, sometimes you have to, or sometimes you can, depends on your income. So right now the official tax campaign has started in Spain and you're able to present your documents. Here in Spain it's called Declaración de la Renta. So this year it's very complicated because a lot of people were receiving some kind of help from the government, or they were on ERTE. This is when your contract is basically paralyzed at your workplace and the social security is paying you this 70% of your wage. Or you can work, like instead of 40 hours, you can work 20 at your workplace and the rest 20 will be paid by social security. This is how it's been working until now. So the people that were receiving last year the ERTE, they have a huge problem right now, because not everything is gold if it's shiny. You know, there is a phrase here in Spain that we use quite a lot, which means that not everything is good if it seems good at first. What is happening with these ERTE and social security? So social security sees this ERTE as a second employer. So normally in Spain, if you're earning, let's say, less than some certain amount of money a year and you're only working for one employer, you don't need to present this tax declaration if you don't want to. But the situation changes if you have 2 employers and you earn more than 1,500 a month. This is when the things start to get complicated, because Social Security could have done just simply the easier way, could have gone the simpler path and just say, well, it's not your fault, our citizens' fault, it's not our fault, the situation, it is what it is, it's pandemics, it's not something that you've decided, so we're gonna leave you with only one employer. But no, they are calculating their own decision as a second employer, which we didn't ask for. And right now, all these people are just have to obligatorily present this tax filing, this income for the whole year, and they will pay twice as much tax as if they normally would. Can you imagine? So people will basically pay, not only they pay taxes already, the ones that are being taken off from your wage monthly, but they will also pay extra the same taxes, the same amount approximately, because they have two employers, two jobs, which they actually don't have because it's ERTE, it's government's help. No one's asked for it. It's the company that's decided this for yourself, you know. It's just, it's not our fault. So why do people that have, in any case, a low amount of money right now, that have such a difficult economic situation, why they have to pay double of taxes because of something that the government's decided for us? A lot of people were very angry and are thinking how it's possible to decrease the amount that they have to pay extra for the government, but probably it's not going to be the case and they will have to pay this money, because if not, they will get a fine. It is how it is here in Spain. They are just, you know, making it every time more and more difficult for citizens to make things the right way, and just giving us more and more reasons to either go abroad or go somewhere else or have some illegal jobs to be able to survive, because having everything legally here in Spain doesn't mean that you're going to have a good life, sadly, but this is how it works here in Spain. Next two news are from our Spain Benidorm region, of course, our Valencian community. So first one is that vacational rentals here, the apartments, especially here in Benidorm, are claiming from the government 280 million euros. Can you imagine? This is basically, as they say, to save the sector, to save the economic area where they are, and to save all the companies from disappearing. The companies that work on the short-term rental here in our region are approximately 1,200 more or less at this moment. A lot of them were not able to open since March 2020, since last year, when officially the lockdown started and we were not able to go out to the streets. Since then, a lot of them didn't open. I'm not talking right now about singular property owners. I'm just talking about like the major companies. For owners, it's a lot more simple. It's just, if they want to, they can always go from the short-term to long-term rental. And somehow, even though they get lower profit, but still they can get some money out of it until the situation is better, and then start going short-term once again. The most affected areas here are, of course, our first line near the beach, so the front line on the Levante beach in Benidorm. This area has the most number of the short-term apartments available for rentals, from 1 day up until monthly rental. So basically that zone is the most affected one. And of course, all the areas that are on the first line, like this one here in Albir, in Altea, in Benidorm, in Campello, in San Juan, in Alicante. So all these areas, and Calpe as well, they are most affected ones. Of course, they also say that just simply by opening the tourism and allowing the tourism to come once again to Spain, to our region, it's not going to be enough anymore, because the situation is starting to be as drastic as it never was. And apart from opening the tourism, the companies still will need quite a big help in order to recover and not shut down. This is the truth about our region at this time. I could say that everything's perfect. Yes, tourism will save everything, but I'm not gonna lie. I always tell you the truth and try and bring you all the information as it is. So yes, this is the actual situation right now here in Benidorm region and in general in Valencian region. The opening of tourism will not be enough. The last news is that, if some of you might know, our region is very, very famous for producing shoes and all kind of, not only sports shoes, but like slippers and all kind of different shoes made in Spain. A lot of people that come here for holidays, at least one pair of shoes made in Spain, they bring with themselves home. These are very, very good quality products, and the 90% of all the production of shoes comes exactly from our region of Alicante, from this area, mostly from Alicante and Elche, these two cities. So this region, together with the ministers of this region, with the economic ministers, they've signed a paper which will be brought up to our government, main government, to the president of our country, Pedro Sanchez, as well as to the European Union, to Brussels. Why? First of all, they are asking some help for the sector. Once again, all kind of sectors and areas, economic areas here in Spain, are asking for help because it's been difficult for everyone. It's been a long, long time since we don't have our normal lives anymore. This is the sad truth. Our lives have changed. The sectors, the economic situation has changed as well. Everything has changed and it's not the same anymore. So this area, this economic part of Spain, has also been quite affected, as well as clothing production and accessories, but mostly the shoes, because people just don't spend that much money on good shoes. They prefer to buy something cheap, because still they don't go that much anymore, they don't travel, so they don't need that much as they probably needed before all this pandemic started. This is why they need some help and are asking our government to give them part of the money that is for the recovery of the area here in Valencian community for the shoe sector. Apart from that, they are asking to have some actions, legal actions in terms of United States, because you know that United States, they've approved from this year the Google tax, the so-called Google tax, which will be applied for all companies, like slightly major companies, the ones that wanna export something, like if Spain wants to export the shoes from here to the United States, they'll need to pay an extra tax, which probably will make all this not that much profitable anymore. So a lot of companies might just cancel it and not send their products to US anymore. They don't want this to happen, so they've asked some kind of economic diplomacy, some kind of consensus in between European Union and US, to be able to either eliminate this new tax or reduce it somehow, so that our Spanish companies would still be able to send their products to US and obtain some kind of profit, at least minimal, but still profit. This is what's happening. About the Spanish weather, as you can see, I've already mentioned a little bit. Today in our Valencian region, it's finally sunny. We've had quite a few days and even weeks of rain. Some days there was some sunshine and then it started to rain again, but now the weather is honestly very, very nice, except for the sea. You have to be very careful if you go to the beach areas today, because the waves are very, very high and it's quite dangerous. In the rest of Spain, as you can see, there might be some rain still in the south and our Mediterranean area, but these rains will start going towards the Balearic Islands and towards the Mediterranean Sea. It's going to be quite a good weather for a few days, but in the middle of next week, it's expected to be raining once again. This is what we have here in April. In April, we actually say here in Spain that in April there's thousands of waters. In Spanish, it would be en abril aguas mil, which means that in April there's a lot of rain before the true summer season and the heat comes to Spain. There are yellow alerts as well in all regions of Mediterranean Sea because of the high waves, and on the north part of Spain as well. In Catalonia, there is a yellow alert during the whole day of today because of snow. Can you imagine? There might be an opportunity for people to see the snow once again in the north part, in the mountains of Catalonia, in the middle of April. This is what's going to be happening. It's so crazy, but this is how the weather is right now. The temperatures, as you can see on the second picture, are decreasing in a lot of parts, but will remain stable in the north part of Spain, in the islands, Balearic and Canarian Islands, and in Catalonia. The rest parts, you can see some decrease in them, but not too much. In the north part will be between 3 and 16 degrees. In the center, 10 till 15. In the south part, from 14 until 24. Mediterranean area will have from 13 until 21. Still, it's a very nice weather, and right now, even with like, this is like, it's not a blouse, it's a little bit thicker, but still with this, it's quite warm outside. You can even go with a t-shirt, but only if you are on the sunshine. In the shade, it's slightly lower. In the shade, you need to put some kind of a jacket or something on top of you, like a blazer or something. In Alicante, it's expected to have 18 degrees. In our sunny Benidorm right here, approximately 20, which is very, very nice. In Barcelona, 14. In Granada, 21. In Malaga, 17. Marbella, same, 17 degrees. In Sevilla, 24. This is going to be the warmest place in Spain, apart from Canarian Islands, that will have the same 24 degrees. In Murcia, 21, in Balearic Islands, 18, and in Valencia, it's going to be slightly lower because there is a lot more possibility of having some raindrops from the sky. But here, at least today, we enjoy the perfect weather. I wish you a very nice day of today, my dears. Thank you all for watching. Thank you a lot for those who start subscribing to the channel. It's been a lot of you that subscribed in the last few days. Thank you all for everything. I'm very happy to see that our YouTube family is continuing to grow. And see you tomorrow with the latest videos from our lovely Benidorm. Bye, dears.